Good evening, I'm Richard, and I'm going to play a song called Lullaby for Daddy. Hush, sugar, let some air in. There's many answers for most questions. It takes experts to write briefs. Others need experts to read. And more to agree. Most any king of any history would kill for pink champagne and air conditioning, and to live long enough to be jealous when his daughter refers her mother. If any but imagine this, my deepest love and passions live. And if you care to smile in a mirror, you will share 'em. If God expresses himself in science, evidence is all around us, and the smallest particles, not even a particle at all, it's a shimmy, and the shape. If any but imagine this, my deepest love and passions live. And if you care to smile in a mirror, you will share 'em. If you care to smile in a mirror, you'll share 'em. Thank you. I'll tell you a little bit about that song, and I'm going to have to refer to notes. When our daughter was born, with regrettable nonchalance, I set out to write a song that might comfort her anytime, whenever, and also when I have died. This pursuit went along in mundane fashion for a cliched month or two. It was full of breezes through the leaves and the sound of waves. I'm not totally satisfied with the chorus, but that's version, I think that's model 25 or whatever. That's, you got to stop somewhere. Anyway, as our beautiful baby roared into life, learning to scream and smile and sleep in my arms, the most horrifying thought occurred to me, the thought that she might die. Suddenly I was a kid again, 6, 9, 12 years old, with the night terrors, measuring faith against physics. My good friend Gill says the human mind cannot reconcile our own conception of death or eternity. Others have said there's no one living who can definitively say what happens after death, so it's easiest and perhaps best to give up asking. Better to die once than every night fearing it. Every religion and even physics says there's a transformation. Whether the soul into heaven or into the light or reincarnated, perhaps some version of all three. Physics says energy cannot be lost, that it just changes form. And if the most inconceivable is true, that our consciousness does not go on the way we know it, what do we really lose? Consciousness as I know it is a reaction to my bodily needs and a desire to make space for myself and family, to negotiate peace and sandwiches and arias and an occasional French kiss. I had little to do with my wiring, my inability to resist cheeseburgers, Bibo Valdez, or a tender-hearted woman. Spiritually speaking, it would have been easier and better probably to have been born a monk and a vegetarian. But built with these needs and desires, my consciousness is mostly an internal and external negotiation to satisfy the desires I was born with, the needs, the gaps, within an acceptable morality. And this is, of course, experienced both internally and externally, and I think where our friends and family come in, where love comes in. Anyway, I'm going off the deep end there. But the point is, what is there really to lose once the body is gone, transformed to water and gas and petrified rock? Who can guarantee water and rock are free of consciousness, as full or more of vibration as my body and brain? Perhaps they are merely free of words. Who can guarantee that existence in these forms is less satisfying than the best of human days, when I've had music, cheeseburgers, a woman, and belly laughs with our glorious children? I hear the children now. They've come back from seeing Christmas lights with their mother and grandfather. I'm gonna read a poem by my dad, Randy Bates, from Dolphin Island. It's the last poem in the chapbook, and it's called Rock. And there's an explanation that's not part of the poem right there. Poem's called Rock, and the explanation is: begun in an exercise. Describe a small object with my students. I have on my desk the finest paperweight in my experience, a rock from Walden Pond. It's squarish, sort of tall, and flat on its base. Also blonde, mottled, a look certain clouds have, and softly bumpy. Curved lines like those in our palms score its faces. It almost fits within my hand, yet it's heavy for its size. Cool to the touch, its temperature recalls the clear shadows in which I found it. That day I wasn't looking for rocks, just waiting after swimming when I glimpsed and absently took it. It lay for a few years in the trunk of my car. When I traded the car, I noticed it and put it on one desk, then another. With each day that passes, my estimate of its value increases. My favorite among the small number of rocks that I have and have had. It will stay with me and companionably serve me, I expect, for the rest of my time here. Later, I see it passing through the hands of some of those dear to me, and then somewhere surviving us by centuries. Thanks for listening.